Today, we're gonna see some more Japanese anime studios explained. This is part 2 of that series. I already did part 1. You can find the link for that down in the description. Let's check it out. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go.
Logo reveal. Mushi Productions was founded in 1961 by ex-Toei employee and legendary godfather of manga, Osamu Tezuka. They were pioneers of anime and revolutionized the medium as a whole. And the reason that Mushi Pro was even made in the first place was because Tezuka didn't enjoy his time at Toei. So he basically got a bunch of animes from Toei and was like, yo, I'll pay you double the salary if you join me, and the rest is history. The studio adapted a ton of Tezuka's manga series, like Astro Boy, Ashita no Joe, and Dororo. The studio was so prolific that they
I was about to say, bro. I was about to say, Tezuka did Ashita. Okay, no, this wasn't written by Tezuka. I was like, damn. Wait, Tezuka did Dororo?
They even worked on overseas projects like the original 1969 Frosty the Snowman Christmas special. It's hard to overstate just how much Mushi Pro really was the GOAT in their prime, and it was because they were exclusively hiring the best of the best. Apparently their interview process was so difficult that some of the best anime directors like Osamu Dezaki almost failed the test. In the late 60s to early 70s, Mushi Pro was beginning their downward slip into bankruptcy. This actually would cause them to create some of their more interesting adult-oriented works like 1001 Nights or Cleo.
We watching these? Chat, we watching these? For the OnlyFans channel?
Cleopatra, both of which I can't show much of. Like, look at this poster of Cleopatra. Yeah! Unfortunately, these attempts to pivot into the adult animation market didn't really work, and the studio disbanded. A lot of the staff ended up creating other studios like Sunrise, Madhouse, and KyoAni.
Wow, the staff went on to make Sunrise, Madhouse, and KyoAni? That's crazy.
In its wake. It's hard to really convey how many important people were in this one animation studio, but if you want to check out some of Mushi Pro's work, I've been told Ashita no Joe is really good, and if you want something completely different, check out Belladonna of Sadness. I mean, it is easily one of the most surrealist anime I've ever seen. Like, what am I watching here? White Fox was founded in 2007 by former OLM staff member Gakko Iwasa and other employees. They are well known for adapting popular games and light novels into anime, which their first work, Tears of Tiara, was. Their second ever work was Katanagatari, which to this day has some of the most out there art style I've ever seen.
Oh, this is Katanagatari? But I've seen so many times people recommend this to me. Yo, that is not the animation style I was expecting.
Their work was Katanagatari, which
this is not the animation style I was expecting.
To this day has some of the most out there art style I've ever seen. And then they released Steins Gate, which is still...
I didn't realize it was so highly rated. Yeah, dude, it is phenomenal.
Considered to this day to be one of the best sci-fi time travel stories. Nowadays, they're mainly known for their work on Re:Zero, which has some really great animated sequences, particularly in episode 18. This is a weird episode because it's literally just two people talking, but White Fox did such a good job making this episode one of the best. Special shout out to episode director Kazumo Koga for elevating this scene from just two people talking into a super emotional climax. Now, they're an incredibly small studio.
We love White Fox.
46 employees, which probably does mean they outsource a lot of their work, but it is still impressive that they managed to create such big IPs with such a small team. And in 2018, they ended up founding a new studio with the help of Egg Firm.
Oh, Bind is an offshoot of White Fox? I did not know that. This is new to me. I did not know that. I knew that Bind is definitely like had ties to Egg Firm. I knew that,
which I'll get to later. David Production was founded by former Gonzo producers Koji Kajita and Taito Akira. They also got a ton of Studio Shaft veterans to join their studio, and you can
Studio Shaft veterans
see the work shine on Fire Force and JoJo's. They are a comparatively smaller studio, and their name is literally a reference to David and Goliath. The studio itself is
really? Is that what the David comes from? Oh.
Well known for being super creative in its art palettes and ideas, and this has greatly helped influence their ultra-popular adaptation of the JoJo Bizarre Adventure manga franchise. I'm sure you've seen and heard all of the JoJo memes that have come out of the anime series. In an interview with the co-director of almost every part of JoJo's, Naokatsu Suda, he actually explains that the meme ability...
Oh, yo! Pause! What the fuck is this? Hey, yo!
series was intentional. The JoJo graphic novels over the years have become something of an internet meme, or at least they are the source of a lot of internet memes.
Crazy.
One thing we can do today that would have been possible 20 years ago is...
That's wild, bro. This might have been in one of the episodes I skipped. I'm not gonna lie to you. Part 3 was so fucking long. I skipped a bunch of episodes of part 3 because there were so many moments that were just like, it was like villain of the week. Like a new bad guy shows up. Oh, a new stand user shows up. Like these motherfuckers know stand users attract stand users. Some weird guy dripped the fuck out, aura and crazy, fucking walking in like. And they're like, oh yeah, he's a normal guy. That's just a normal guy. There's no way he's a stand user. Like the baby. Oh my God. What pissed me off so much in part 3, you guys know that you attract stand users. Weird shit's happening, and the baby. Oh my God, dude. Oh my. One person in your squad's like, yo, this baby sus as fuck. I think it's a stand user. Everybody's like, no, it's a baby. That shit pissed me off so much. Anyways.
Pick up on the established memes and see how we can pull those into the anime.
That's crazy.
In fact, that was
That
fully
is
intended.
insane.
We wanted to make a show where a fan could watch
That
the
is
animated
insane.
episode and then go back to the graphical novel and see their idea of JoJo was faithfully animated.
Oh,
Honestly,
no!
such goat behavior. This is easily their biggest work and a
That's
great reminder
crazy,
of the
bro.
creativity and passion of the studio.
By the way, I do not hate JoJo's. My stance on JoJo's is that part 3 was just too fucking long, a lot of Monster of the Week action, right? Part 4, I actually skipped after watching a few episodes. Like I basically said, I don't want to watch this shit no more. And then after part 5 finished, I was like, you know what? I'll give part 5 a try. I watched part 5, watched through all of that. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. And then I went back and watched part 4. Part 4 is my favorite. I love part 4. Now, part 6 got the fucked up release, so it's hard to, but anyways.
Has. If you want recommendations of other good shows they've done, Cells at Work and Undead Unluck are really fun.
Oh,
you know
they
what's
did
also
Cells
fun?
at Work.
The subscribe
I've never
button.
watched it.
Hey, look, it's glowing for Pride Month. Studio Dean was founded in 1975 by
Studio
former Sunrise
Dean.
producer Hiroshi Hasegawa along with other Sunrise animators. Back in the day,
Damn.
Studio Dean had a really good reputation and was making some of the most iconic anime. Ranma One Half, Fruits Basket, and Higurashi are still talked about to this day. But nowadays,
real.
Studio Dean has a pretty bad reputation, and that is mostly due to their poor handling of the Seven Deadly Sins Season 3. This season is infamous for having some of the most piss-poor animation ever. I'm not even a Seven Deadly Sins fan, and I still feel disappointed just looking at this. The most hype-up fight was completely botched, and since the first 2 seasons had pretty good animation by A1 Pictures, it kind of felt like it was all Dean's fault that this just looked like ass. But was this really the case? Well, apparently, Aniplex, A1's parent company, was ordered to make a Season 3 pretty soon after the movie came out by Netflix, which had just flopped. Since A1 Pictures was making way more money with SAO and Fate Grand Order, they didn't feel the need to make another season. So,
Oh, wow. So we blame Sony. It's Sony's fault. Fucking Sony, dude. That's crazy. Wow.
Aniplex asked Studio Dean to take on the project, and I'm assuming this resulted in a rushed schedule. Unfortunately, that just seems to be the norm with a lot of anime nowadays. Studios just bite off more than they can actually chew. If you watch Dean's other work, like Konosuba, you'll see that they can still make shows with great animation cuts, but it's definitely a mixed bag. JC Staff was founded in 1986 by Tomoyuki
JC
Miyata,
Staff!
and they've unfortunately been branded
very
as
aware
a
of
sort
this.
of budget anime studio just like Dean. The main reason for this was the release of One Punch Man Season 2. Now, look, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed Season 2's story. I even think it has some good scenes in general.
I like Season 2. A lot of people hate on Season 2 because it's not as good as Season 1. I like Season 2. Is that crazy? Maybe. Maybe you think that I'm crazy for saying that. I thought it was good. I liked it. I like Season 2. Of course, I don't like it as much as Season 1 because Season 1 was like literally the top tier people within anime working on it. Great director, great animators, great everything, right? So duh, obviously, it's not going to be as good as Season 1. But I like Season 2. I think it's just that the MC got sidelined. Here's the problem. Dog, you can't do shit with this motherfucker. You put him into stuff, and then he instantly wins. How long can you carry on the bit? The best parts... No, that's not true. The best parts of One Punch Man are literally, you know, Saitama beating the shit out of stuff. But those parts have no stakes. It's like, okay, yeah, we expect it, right? That's like his whole shtick is that he beats the shit out of anything that, like, easily. He easily defeats whatever he goes against, right? But the only reason it works is because things look like it's not going to work out. Things look hopeless. Oh no, we're not going to be able to win. And then Saitama shows up. You know what I mean? I like season 2 too. This guy's right.
Actor Shingo Natsume's ability to attract industry veterans like Yutaka Nakamura was what made season 1 so good. And when you have to follow up one of the best animators and just an all-around insane team of animation veterans, it is easy to fall short, but also to be a bit of an asshole. It's not a secret that a lot of JC Staff anime just have pretty bad animation quality in general. In fact, I would say One Punch Man season 2 and Food Wars are probably some of their best works. And although Psyche K is funny as hell, let's be honest, the animation, this is actually the definition of mid. I mean, probably even below mid. The show was great, but
that's true. That's true. Psyche K does not have great animation. I'm watching it right now. I've got through 11 episodes. The animation is not great, but this show survives on the comedy. It's the timing. It's the comedic timing. It's literally the jokes. As long as the jokes work, that's all that matters. It doesn't need the action sequences. It doesn't need the fluid animation. The jokes hit, and that's all that matters.
It's definitely not because of the animation. Way of the House Husband, another example. It's literally just colored manga panels. And maybe for some people it looks good and it's fun to watch, but for me there's not enough motion. And I'm not saying that this is the fault of people who work there. You know, tons of them are probably talented, but clearly there's a reason that JC is taking so many shortcuts. And it's probably because they keep making like 3 shows in a single season. Obviously, not all of them can look good when their time and money is split up among so many different projects. Like in summer 2023, just last year, they released 5.
That's crazy, dude. That is insane. That's too much, man. It's too much to release at one time.
Shows in the same season. That's insane. Again, I don't want to stereotype all of JC Staff as being bad because it's season.
All right. Out of these, I only watched one of them, this, and I gave it a 6. I gave it a 6. Tough.
That's insane. Again, I don't want to stereotype all of JC Staff as being bad because it does depend on the people who are working on the project itself. It's not like they've never made amazing shows. Some of their best includes like Revolutionary Girl, Utena, Azumanga Daioh, Karekano, which they made with Gainax, which I'll talk about in my previous anime studio video. And then later in the 2000s, they were some of the first to start
Bakuman, fire. Watch Bakuman. Watch Bakuman. It is amazing. I love Bakuman. It is one of my favorites.
Adapting Kadokawa light novels like Familiar of Zero and Railgun, both of which are really great, but let's be honest, overall, JC Staff does have a pretty bad stereotype and, you know, the glove seems to fit. Studio Manglo was founded in 2002 by former Sunrise producers Shinichiro Kobayashi and Takashi Kochiyama.
I've never heard of this studio in my life.
Releasing Samurai Champloo in 2004 as their first ever anime. Now, let me ask y'all a question.
This studio's
what
gotta
happens
be...
when you mix the amazing director of Cowboy Bebop, Shinichiro Watanabe, and the literal godfather of lo-fi hip-hop and musical icon Nujabes to make an anime? Well, you get fucking perfection. Okay, if you haven't watched Samurai Champloo, go grab yourself a magic brownie and sit your ass on the couch. Okay, it is nirvana. Manglo is known for the amount of creative freedom that they gave their directors. Samurai Champloo, Ergo Proxy, these are great examples of what was accomplished with this freedom. They've also adapted a few manga series like Dead Man Wonderland and The World Only God Knows, which is easily the best harem anime of all time. But unfortunately, this
easily the best harem anime of all time. This must be pre 100 Girlfriends.
Video didn't last forever. They accumulated an insane amount of debt totaling up to 350 million yen, which accounting for inflation today is around $3 million. This broke the company and they ended up declaring bankruptcy in 2015. I wish I knew exactly why this happened, but there is a surprising lack of information on the topic and around this studio in general. My best guess is that the 2008 global recession severely impacted them, and the fact that Samurai Champloo was one of their biggest works but still didn't do great for DVD sales probably hurt them in the long run. I mean, just looking at this list of most of their DVD sales, they're not that great. Also, I hope you're finally happy, dude. Dogakobo was founded by former... They're not that great. Also, I hope you're
Please make a video on Studio Gainax and Studio Manglo, please. Damn.
Finally happy, dude. Dogakobo was founded by former Toei employees Hideo Furusawa and Megu.
God damn, how many people gonna leave Toei? Everything, yo, does everything go back to Toei? I feel like everything goes back to Toei. Literally everything goes back to Toei. That's crazy. Toei is literally the godfather of animation studios. Everyone can trace their lineage to Toei. Stems between Toei and Sunrise. Bro, the Sunrise people is from Toei, bro. Everything goes back to Toei.
73. Most of their earlier works were more on the moe side of anime, with shows like Umaru-chan and New Game, which, you know, one of these is definitely good anime. The other one, But nowadays, Dogakobo is definitely more known for their recent series, like Oshinoko, really showing the talent that they have. And you might be surprised to learn that the first season of Oshinoko was actually made on a pretty tight schedule. It really is a testament to the team, and especially series director Daisuke Hiramaki, to inventively adapt the entire first volume into a single 90-minute episode instead of splitting it up into multiple 20-minute episodes. I think my favorite moment from the show has to come from Kenji Sawada, though, who did this brilliant scene where Ruby finally decides that she can dance too. And it's not surprising because he's also worked on the key animation for big shows like Free Run and Spy Family. Another star player is Kana Hirayama, who's been at Dogakobo for a while and whose intricate supervision of over 1,000 cuts alone as the chief animation director for the first episode made sure that she turned Ai into this captivating star for us to watch. And again, not surprising considering she's contributed heavily to shows like Bocchi the Rock and Tokyo Ghoul. If you're looking to see more of her great work at Dogakobo, then check out Selection Project. But in general, I would also recommend a lot of their older works like Nozaki-kun, Plastic Memories, and GJ Club. If you want something...
We watched Plastic Memories. That was good. Never seen the other two.
That just came out and is also really good. Jellyfish Can't Swim is really, really good. And
it was good. Really, really is too much. I'm not slapping a really, really on it. I think it was good.
I'm super excited for the new Oshinoko season as well. Studio OLM, formerly known as Oriental Light and Magic, was founded in 1990 by
Oriental Light and Magic.
10 previous Studio Gallop and OB Planning employees. Just like larger
Studio Gallop and OB Planning, never heard of them. Don't know what that is.
Anime studios, OLM has many different departments that work on a...
So maybe OLM is the first one that doesn't... I bet those people that were at Studio Gallop and OB Planning, I bet they came from Toei. I bet somehow.
Ton of different shows, the most popular of which is easily the Pokemon anime series. And this is a difficult task because you have to consistently adapt and change your art style to match the setting to setting changes and keep up with the modern technology that animation is having. You can see this change most prominently from the Pokemon season X and Y to Sun and Moon, where the art style just dramatically changed. This actually caused a lot of backlash online for viewers because they were used to seeing Ash in a certain way. But this more simple character design freed up the animation team to make even better looking action sequences. And even though they're most well known for Pokemon, they've made a ton of other anime, including like Beyblade, Komi-san, and
Komi was when I first knew of the existence of OLM. Even though I knew, because I mean, obviously I watched Pokemon as a kid, right? I didn't know about animation studios when I was a kid, right? It was Komi Can't Communicate that I first saw the name OLM and realized, oh, this is a pretty good studio.
Berserk? Yes, literally just a few months after they made the first season of Pokemon, OLM animated the 1997 adaptation of Berserk.
Oh,
This is still regarded by a lot of manga fans to be the best adaptation of the work, but if you don't mind CG, the Golden Age movies aren't the worst either.
I like the Golden Age movies. I thought that they were pretty good. But OLM, pick it back up, bro. Pick it back up, OLM. Go back. Bring us more Berserk.
Such a huge studio at this point that they have a ton of different internal teams and multiple different subsidiary companies in other countries to outsource their work too. In fact, they're so big that I was actually able to find their company profile on Glassdoor, a website where people can rate companies and how good they are to work for. So let's read some of these together.
2.8. Ooh.
Good colleagues and seniors, chill environment. Okay, that's pretty cool. Overworked employees, poor work-life balance. The next one is as bad as Mappa, terrible working conditions, non-ethical hours, terrible HR, low pay.
That's a pro? Let's go, dude.
Disrespectful employers, and those are just the pros. Surely
and
one
those are just the pros.
Those gotta be good. Let's see. Deadline based, so you have absolutely no choice but to finish work even if it takes the whole night. No overtime pay even though working past 9 p.m. almost every day. Worst overtime was until 2 days, more than 24 hours and no extra pay whatsoever. And overtime past 2 a.m. happens every month. Toxic managers, guilt-tripping staff when you're unable to finish work or wanting to extend time. Feels inhumane. Your 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. is very rare. Feels like it's impossible. Well, that's kind of just depressing. Okay.
Damn.
Clover Works used to be a separate studio.
Damn, OLM sucks. No wonder Bug Life was created. Bug Life? Wait, isn't that the name of a movie? Bug film. Oh yeah. That's what. I was like Bug's Life. Wait a minute, that's not Bug film. Bug film. Yeah. No wonder Bug film was created, bro. For Zom.
Within A1 Pictures, but they've since rebranded to their own studio in 2018. Clover Works is known for their character expressiveness and creative visuals in shows like Bocchi the Rock, Spy Family, and Windbreaker, which just came out this spring.
I will say, technically, Spy Family is a collaborative work between Clover Works and Wit Studio. I'm just saying, technically.
Season and has some of the best fight sequences I've ever seen.
Technically.
Most of their works are romances and slice of life shows with a heavy emphasis
Both great
on comedy.
shows.
However, as with many amazing studios, from what I've heard, they have a pretty bad scheduling problem. In 2021, while Clover Works
So you're working in all the red times. That's crazy.
getting a team ready for their 2022 lineup of anime, Chief Animation Director Kiminori Ito started posting Twitter complaints about the schedule, even going as far as to say, "It's too painful, death." This is someone who has worked on some of the biggest shows in the past, like Chainsaw Man and Gintama, and at Clover Works he worked on Tokyo 24th Ward and Horimiya. Unfortunately, this kind of insane production schedule affects everyone in the anime studio, even as someone as talented and high up as Ito. Clover Works is also very well known for their massive fumbling of Promised Neverland Season 2. Now,
Season 2. I just want you all to recognize that he's about to get into some propaganda. He's about to claim that there was a second season of The Promised Neverland. This is not a thing. This does not exist. There was no second season. We're still waiting. To this very day, we are waiting for a second season of The Promised Neverland. I ain't see no Goldie Pond. If there was no Goldie Pond, there's no second season. Straight up. They want us to believe that they continued The Promised Neverland. It never occurred. Remember that.
I'm going to get a little speculative here and say that the reason that Promised Neverland Season 2 was so rushed and completely ruined the manga ending was because they were just too booked as a studio to keep making new seasons, or because they had an insanely tight production schedule that just didn't allow for more continued seasons. But that's just a theory. A game theory. 8-Bit was founded in 2008 by former Satellite members and is now a subsidiary of Bandai Namco Film.
All right, 8-Bit is a subsidiary of Bandai Namco. Okay, got it. Oh, really? Interesting. And they came from Satellite. Oh.
Works, formerly known as Sunrise. They used to be known for working on all those old school...
That's crazy. Just hear the breakdown of that again. Founded by former Satellite members. It is a subsidiary of Sunrise, or rather a subsidiary of Bandai Namco Filmworks, formerly known as Sunrise. Like, damn. Founded by former Satellite members, it's a subsidiary of Bandai Namco, formerly known as Sunrise. What the fuck? All this like jumping around. Everybody's jumping all over the place. Names changing and shit.
Sunrise. They used to be known for working on all those old school battle harem shows like Infinite Stratos, which was their first work. If you were a horny middle school teenager in 2013 like I was, then you probably watched a lot of their shows. Nowadays, they are pretty much exclusively known for their work on That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime and Blue Lock, which both have become super popular in their own right. 8-Bit is pretty well known to have decent animation sometimes, but usually is not the most consistent. When they spend the budget to make their big scenes hit, the show often looks great, even amazing at times. They also love using CGI because it is...
Yeah, this is so fucking ugly. This is my only complaint that I ever had about Blue Lock Season 1. The only complaint I ever had about Blue Lock Season 1 is the random ass CGI. Like, why are we doing that?
One of the studio's specialties, and this can be a good cost-saving measure if used properly, but can also be very jarring for a lot of viewers. But disregarding the CG moments, there's still a lot of times, especially in Blue Lock, where characters will just be talking and things kind of look like off. And while the first few episodes started off super strong, towards the end of the show, things really started looking worse and worse, with some of these proportions and shots just looking really weird. And as we've seen time and time again, this is probably an issue related to the scheduling of the production itself. It's hard to emphasize just...
That's crazy. He looks so much different right here. That don't even look like him. This looks like a different character. That's insane.
This is probably an issue related to the scheduling of the production itself. It's hard to emphasize just how important time, money, and talent all contribute to an anime success. However, I've been watching Slime Season 4, and so far the animation quality has been pretty decent. Hopefully 8-Bit gives the same...
Tensuda gets the best because Tensuda makes them the most money. Simple as that. Dude, what I'm surprised by is how has Blue Lock... Bro, you know this, the fucking Steam game Rematch? It's like a soccer game. It's like an indoor soccer, like really small area. Rip that shit off and make a Blue Lock version of it. Boom. You make stacks of money. So much fucking money. So much fucking money. Find somebody you can work with to make that game. Games make stacks of money. You can make unlockable characters. You can make like blue lock uniforms. You could do so much.
Amount of time for Blue Lock and especially its U20 arc to cook because the manga they have to adapt is straight fire from here on out. PA Works was founded in 2000 by X Productions.
Ooh, damn. Oh yeah, this is pre-season 2. Damn. Last season of the main series, at least. Last season of the main series. What are you talking about? For Tensuda? Oh, you're saying who animated last season of Seven Deadly Sins? Oh, okay.
IG member Kenji Horikawa. Apparently, when he first started the studio, he was broke. So he borrowed an abandoned hospital building and turned it into a studio, which that's actually kind of fire. They were especially popular in the 2010s with shows like Angel Beats, Charlotte, and another. Legendary composer and writer Jun Maeda also worked on a ton of PA Works projects, making music and even screenwriting for Angel Beats and Charlotte. They seem to always deliver with consistent and great animation, and even to this day, they're continuing to make great shows like Skip and Loafer or Akiba Maid War. They have a very distinct visual style that really emphasizes their amazing background art, and personally, I love it. They've also made some really insightful anime too, like Shirobako, which is literally about how anime is made, which if you're watching this might interest you. Ironically though, PA Works has had some PR problems related to employee dissatisfaction, but it's a little complicated, so I'm going to simplify it a bit. Traditionally, animation is first storyboarded and then someone creates the keyframes of that animation. Then in-betweeners will go in to fill the motion between keyframes, creating the smooth sequence that we see as an animation. Since most animators only get paid per drawing and not per hour, this can lead to some less than ideal pay. An in-betweener for PA Works posted on Twitter that they were getting paid a really poor wage, but it's not so much the case that PA Works pays poorly. In fact, they actually pay above the average compared to most animation studios. It's more of a problem that the industry as a whole is pretty broken and kind of screws over in-betweeners. These guys are basically the unsung heroes of the anime industry because on average, they earn around 200 yen per drawing, which is less than $2. Sometimes these drawings can take up to an hour, but you still get paid the same amount per drawing. PA Works is better than the industry standard at around 220 yen per drawing. That still kind of sucks. But it's important to understand that this isn't usually the fault of the animation studio itself. Here is a graph showing the annual profits of the anime industry. These small yellow bars represent the portion that the anime studios actually receive. Because these production committees are the ones funding anime and they hold the IP, anime studios don't see any of the money. The production committees do. And this leads to the lack of funds for a lot of animators, especially ones that are just starting out and are in-betweeners. But insane. Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. My personal favorite PA Works anime has to be their movie Makia. It is genuinely one of the most underrated anime films of all time. Like, I'm gonna be real, I don't usually cry when watching anime or anime movies, but for some reason, when I watch Makia, the water...
We gotta watch this shit then. Makia. We gotta watch this shit. We gotta watch this shit. Hey, somebody that's on Patreon, make sure you recommend this shit the next time we got the thing going, okay?
That shit went crazy. If you enjoy Tearjerkers, 100% check that out.
Dude, I love
Production
jerking
IG was
into
founded
tears.
in 1997 by Mitsushita Ishikawa and Takayuki Goto. IG has made some of the
Production
biggest
IG.
and most influential anime of all time, and I think these amazing works are partly due to their founding ideals. Co-founder Ishikawa said in an interview that when I started IG in 1987, anime was thought as an extension of manga. Anime had no importance of its own. I wanted to make an anime feature film that stood on its own without manga. And if we're talking about IG, we have to talk about Mamoru Oshii, one of the best anime directors of our time. With his breakout movie Pat Labor, he immediately solidified himself as a big name in the industry, and then he directed Ghost in the Shell, which literally helped shape the genre of cyberpunk, serving as a core inspiration to dystopian movies like The Matrix. This movie was a global phenomenon and helped bring anime in general to the West. Not only that, in the last few years, IG has produced Haikyuu and single-handedly changed Japanese men's volleyball, as tons of people are now more...
Damn, that's, hey, yo. This is, Haikyuu to volleyball is literally slam dunk to basketball. It's true. Do the same thing for slam dunk. You'll see the same shit happen.
More interested in the
slam dunk made people, dude, slam dunk, I still believe is the most, it's the best sports anime of all time. What it did for basketball in Japan is crazy. It is crazy.
Sport. IG also owns Wit Studio as a subsidiary, which has produced popular shows like
I said this before that they own Wit Studio.
Attack on Titan and Vinland Saga Season 1.
I don't know if they still do, though. Maybe they do.
Recently, IG has taken on a more interesting role in the anime industry.
Oh, they don't make anime in houses often. Yeah. Heavenly Delusion, phenomenal. Like they actually kind of slap a little bit. These are some good shit. This is some good shit right here.
Instead of subcontracting like most other studios, they started being a prime contractor and financing other anime production. Studio Piero was founded in
Production IG being a person that funds anime productions. Good. That's what we need to do. Fuck all of these idiots ruining anime. Terrible timelines. Get it all done fast. We're not giving you any money. Bro, I wish anime studios could fund anime themselves. Please, how do we do that?
1972 by Yuji Nunokawa, and they are responsible for some of the biggest anime ever released.
Damn.
Their catalog includes shows like Naruto, Bleach, Black Clover, all of which are shonen mega hits in their own right. Their first ever project was an adaptation of The Wonderful Adventures of Nils, which is a Swedish novel. Interesting. But I would say their breakout hit was Urusei Yatsura, directed by Mamoru Oshii, of which they did the first 100 or so episodes. This anime was a pioneer in the romantic comedy genre, and then they released Yu Yu Hakusho a decade later, which to this day has one of the best tournament arcs of all time. Yu Yu Hakusho was directed by Noriyuki Abe, who is on an insane amount of projects at Piero. He also helped direct Tokyo Mew Mew, Great Teacher Onizuka, and Bleach. Because Piero is such a big studio, they have a ton of different teams. But if I'm going to shout out someone, I definitely want to shout out Hiroki Yamashita for doing such amazing work on both Naruto and Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, specifically episode 6, where he was involved in storyboarding, direction, and animation. And this shit looks amazing. Thankfully, it also looks like
this man's the fucking goat right here, bro.
Piero is trying to improve their employee well-being and working conditions in the industry.
Let's
the managing director of Piero, Kiero Itsumi, said that humans, not computers, create anime. So if these humans become exhausted, there's nothing we can do. Such a way of creating things is not sustainable in the long run. That's why since I joined Piero, we've made significant revisions to salaries and even retroactively increased overtime pay by 20%. I believe we've dedicated to improving working conditions. This is a great sign in the anime industry, and I hope more studios follow in their footsteps.
Bro.
Studio Bind was founded in 2018 as a joint venture by Egg Firm and White Fox. The studio was originally just made for Mushoku Tensei, but recently they've made
I said that a long time ago, bro. Like I was aware of this. I've been aware of this.
Onimai, and are coming out with new shows in
some
2025.
other shit.
Apparently, Mushoku Tensei was greenlit all the way back in 2016, but because it had such a long pre-production process, probably because of the insane quality, it took a while for it to release. In fact, the quality of season 1 was so good that people are starting to question the currently airing season of Mushoku Tensei, as a lot of its core staff has since left the production. A lot of people are saying that it just doesn't look as good. However, I still think that Mushoku Tensei season 2 has some great cuts, and that is of course due to the wonderful work of Kyukawa. Although he was simply a key animator in the first season, he definitely had his hand in making some of the best moments in the show. With episode 22, he has just flexed his skills as an episode director for the first time, and Jesus Christ, what an amazing directorial debut. I mean, this episode had some of the best action sequences I've ever seen, and the VFX that the team chose to use was really incredible. Kyukawa is a newer face in the industry, but just like Studio Bind, I have high hopes for their future projects. Silverlink was founded in 2007 by Hayato Kaneko.
Silverlink.
Nowadays, most anime from them involve Aonuma as a director or co-director. They're well known for doing slice of life shows like Nonon Biori and some of the Fate series spin-offs, or at least I think that's what this is. I'm gonna be honest, I know nothing about Fate, and I'm definitely not learning for this video. They've made a ton of anime that are some of my personal favorites. I have fond memories of watching Baka and Test, Wadamode, and Kokoro Connect, which is still one of my favorite anime to this day. I mean, I love Kokoro Connect, which is what makes this next part so sad. A big controversy at Silverlink was the fact that voice actor Mitsuhiro Ichiki was apparently tricked into auditioning for a role in the anime Kokoro Connect. This audition was set up by a producer of the show, and apparently the entire point of it was to make Ichiki say sus things that could be remixed into something weird out of
I stroke my pickle infinite diamond.
context. Ichiki then had to sit through a PR event for the show where they played his out of context clips and revealed that he didn't even get the role because the role for this show never even existed. I don't know what kind of twisted psychopath comes up with a plan like this, but once the story got out there was
That's fucking weird.
was understandably a ton of outrage. People started boycotting the anime and the studio itself, and they eventually had to issue an official apology. It sucks because I really do love Kokoro Connect, especially since the show is literally about overcoming personal trauma with the help of your friends, which is what makes the situation all the more ironic. Silver Link also has the reputation of not having the greatest animation, with shows like Death March really just being super boring and derivative. But they've also made good stuff like the aforementioned Kokoro Connect, Mitsuboshi Colors, and My Next Life as a Villainess. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. There's still a ton of anime studios I left out. Maybe I'll do another one if this reaches 10k likes. Anyway, peace.
Awesome! Listen, dude, we just learned so much more about anime studios. How great is that? If you want me to watch the third part, the final part, then click the like button, man. Get this video to like 1,000 likes or something, and I'll watch the third part, okay? If you enjoyed this video, again, click the like button, okay? Subscribe to the channel. I react to anime and anime-related videos. If you like Korean dramas, I have a second channel where I do that stuff, and like K-pop and stuff over there on that channel. If you like video games and just reactions to random YouTube videos, I do that on a third channel. I got a lot of channels now, man. Till next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.